What's good, y'all? Dr.Trehunna. So today I'm gonna talk about the best supplement that you could be possibly taking today that's gonna literally help you live longer. Guess what that is? Fish oil. Okay? So today what we're gonna talk about is the benefits of fish oil and omega-3s and why you need to start incorporating this in your daily regimen if you can afford it. Okay? So first things first, why fish oil is so important? All right, fish oil has a certain type of essential fatty acids, which means what? The human body cannot make this endogenously, it needs it exogenously, which means from an outside source. These fatty acids is DHA and EPA, all right? Now, once you start incorporating more of these fatty acids, ironically, what happens is it lowers your risk for cardiovascular disease, helps lower your blood pressure, it helps you boost your memory, you have more mental clarity, it helps you with behavioral problems. If you're somebody, like for instance, if you had ADHD, right, or you have depression or anxiety, for some odd reason, everything is alleviated when you start incorporating more omega-3s into your life, all right? Now, also, when it comes to omega-3s, right, the main thing or the main reason why it works so efficiently for the human body is because that it works in tandem with your brain, all right? So your brain is literally 60% fat, literally, all right? So your brain needs the right type of fat so it can go ahead and do the metabolic processes as efficiently as possible. Now, ironically, the problem is with the American diet, we don't consume a lot of omega-3s. Hence why you're seeing the depression rates and anxiety skyrocketed, okay? It's not just for the fact of the culture of what we experiencing in the American society. It's the fact that we're not giving our body the right type of fuel to run off, okay? So what we are consuming instead of more omega-3s, we're consuming more omega-6s. All right, so you possibly heard of one omega-6 that's good for you, which is alpha linoleic acid, and this comes from nuts, you know, so your walnuts, your pecans, your chia seeds, flax seeds, those type of things, hemp seeds, okay, those are good sources of fats, right? And that's what we all heard, right? That have omega-6s, but the average person is not consuming a lot of nuts and walnuts and stuff like that, or healthy fats. We're consuming a lot of pro-inflammatory fats. What is that? Soybean oil, canola oil, sunflower oil, saffron oil, peanut oil, vegetable oil, grapeseed oil, etc. Okay? These fats are inflammatory. Why? These fats are polyunsaturated fats, and what polyunsaturated fat means, it got a lot of double bonds to it, right? So if it's a lot of double bonds, that means it's easily able to be oxidized, which means what? It is really easy for it to get damaged. Simple. All right. Now, that's why I tell my clients I want you to have more saturated fats. It has no double bonds, which means what? It is more efficient and it's able, the human body can process it better, okay? Because it's not easily able to be damaged, okay? Not to be oxidized or rancid. A lot of people don't know when it comes to the oils that we consume on an average day. Once again, anytime you have any processed food, anything that you want to pick up in your pantry, it can be Doritos, it can be your Cheetos, it can be your Swiss rolls, right? Just look at the first three ingredients. I can guarantee you, you're gonna see either corn oil, sunflower oil, or soybean oil, okay? Look at your mayonnaise that you have in the pantry or in your refrigerator, all right? These are the worst types of fats, omega-6s. All right. And what these fats does, it actually does the total opposite of omega-3s, literally. Okay. So they compete against each other. So if you have more omega-6s, it's going to raise your blood pressure. It's going to raise your glucose, right? And you have more risk at cardiovascular disease because it's raising your inflammatory markers too. All right. So, but the average American don't understand that it's in everything that we consume. So just so you have an idea of how crazy corn oil is, right? If you have about 3 to 5 tablespoons of corn oil, which the average American possibly has at least within a week, it takes you at least 98 ears of corn to have the exact same amount of 3 to 5 tablespoons of corn oil, right? When are you ever gonna eat 98 ears of corn? You never will, right? Or you're not gonna eat it within a year, but because they're condensing it, right? And because they're using machinery to go ahead and break it down and basically squeeze out all this corn oil, right? Now you're consuming it literally daily, right? And the human body is not made for that. Because this is the only time in human history where we can have these things. And just so you have an idea, believe it or not, Literally starting in 1909 or in the 1880s, 1890s, they used to use cottonseed oil as a machine lubricant. Which means what? It wasn't made for consumption. It was made to help lubricate machines. But you know what happened? Because you live in America, just like I live in America, they found a different way to make more money. So they said, hey, if we get this cottonseed oil, why are we throwing away all this oil? We can literally sell it to the American consumer supply chain, right? So what they did is they got it. They start to deodorize it, because if you actually process it, ironically, it creates a stench so bad that they have to deodorize it, right? And then they bleach it, and now they put it on the shelf. That's why that oil can sit in your pantry for year upon year. That's not normal. All right. So you need to start incorporating more omega-3s. Omega-3s, once again, if you have it or you start to consume it, it's going to lower your blood pressure. It's going to alleviate a lot of problems when it comes to cardiovascular disease. You have low risk for atherosclerosis. That's the main reason why a lot of people in Japan, or we heard about the Mediterranean diet, people in Japan or people that live in those type of regions technically live longer than Americans. Why? Because they consume more omega-3s, which is anti-inflammatory, than omega-6s, which is pro-inflammatory, which means it promotes inflammation in the human body. All right. So hopefully y'all learned something today. What I want you to do, if you can't afford it, definitely get some fish oil. Okay. If you're somebody who is following more of a vegetarian or vegan diet and you can't eat anything that's coming from an animal, get some krill oil. Okay. But all fish oil is not created equal. All right. So make sure you get some where it has at least, or if you do take its portion or the serving size, that you're getting about 2 milligrams or 2 grams in total of DHA and EPA, all right? So I'm gonna go ahead and give you all an example right now. So boom, as you can see, I got my fish oil, right? Now, as you can see, the serving size is 1 teaspoon. Now, 1 tablespoon equates to 3 teaspoons. So just to make it easier on myself, I go ahead and use a whole tablespoon. So whatever that you see on this list, you multiply it by 3. So the calories is not 40 because I'm having 1 teaspoon, I'm having a tablespoon, it's really 120. I'm also having about, 13.5 grams of fat, right? Don't worry about cholesterol, because dietary cholesterol does not equate to your cholesterol that's within your body, okay? That's based off how much sugar and how much body or your liver is turning fats or glucose into triglycerides, okay? But that's for another video. But as you can see, it says 800 milligrams of EPA equals pentanoic acid and DHA, okay? And that's 500 milligrams, all right? Now, the most important one, honestly, for the human body is DHA, but these work in tandem, all right? But if you have more DHA, it's gonna go ahead and help you alleviate some of your depression and anxiety symptoms, mood swings, behavioral problems, and it's gonna boost your memory. And you're just gonna have more mental clarity, okay? And mental acuity. So you might as well go ahead and take this. It says take 1 teaspoon a day, once or twice a daily. I go ahead and take 1 tablespoon after I have a meal. Why? Because these are fat soluble, which means you need to go ahead and have some real fat in order for this to really work. All right. So because I take a teaspoon or a tablespoon, right, I'm basically getting about 2.4 grams of EPA and about 1.5 grams of DHA. All right. So hopefully y'all learned something today. Once again, the greatest thing or the greatest supplement that you possibly never heard of that you're not taking is fish oil. So if you want to make sure you live a healthy and longer life, especially if you're dealing with cardiovascular symptoms or problems, just go ahead and take more fish oil, okay? Along with working out, along with you having some sort of an intermittent fasting diet, you're going to be good to go, okay? So hopefully y'all learned something today. And that's your reset tip of the day. It's going to help you stay snatched all the time, knowing it's summertime. Talk to y'all soon.